Ridiculous, you must use this word more often, but it has no clear meaning at all. If something is, or someone is ridiculous, we laugh at that person, not in a good way. We laugh at that person or at that thing. A situation can be ridiculous, a person, of course, ridiculous, the person's clothes or behavior, ridiculous. The word generally is one of these generally abusive terms. Absurd is a better word, but absurd and ridiculous mean pretty much the same thing. It means I laugh them to scorn. Rigid is stiff. He stood rigidly, doesn't bend. Rigorously, following the rules to the end. We followed the rules rigorously. Riled, to be riled up is to be upset to the point of anger. Never used. To rinse is to pour water on a thing to remove something, probably soap. We rinse our hair after we shampoo our hair. Robust is strong and healthy. Root, or many Americans say route. I was just talking last night with kids about Route I-95, which leads all the way from Maine down to the tip of Florida at Miami, all the way down that country, the East Coast. I means interstate, meaning it's a federal highway that runs through many states. Route. Many Americans use the Gallicism, that is a French expression, en route to. He was en route from New York to Los Angeles when his car crashed. En route, on the road, literally. En space R-O-U-T-E. Rubble is the debris, what is left after something has been destroyed. A city, a building. Rudder is that tool almost, that instrument, usually at the bow and stern, at the stern of a boat, which they used to use to steer the boat. That is, push it this way, the boat goes that way. Push it this way, the boat goes... I may be confused. That's the rudder. Rude is the opposite of polite. It's also the opposite of refined. His rude behavior, his manners are rude. Rude, R-U-E-D, past tense or past participle of to rue. To rue is to regret. You will rue the day you violated that law. That is, you will regret it. Rugged, not smooth. His skin is rugged. He has good rugged looks, meaning it doesn't look soft. Rugged. Always in a good sense, I'd say. Rumination is thinking over things, like meditate. Rumination has more to do with logic, I think. Meditation can mean, of course, spiritual contemplation. Rural, opposite of urban. A house in a rural setting, out in the country. Opposite of urban. Saleable means it can be sold. Sallow means yellow and kind of unhealthy. A sallow complexion. It doesn't look healthy. Salutary means healthy. Excellent. Good word. Salutary. Salutation from salute. I salute you means I say hello to you and I wish you health. My salutations are welcome or unwelcome. Sanctuary, like refuge, we had previous page, I think. He sought sanctuary, the North Korean sought sanctuary or refuge first, or asylum, first in China, then in Japan, and finally in Korea. Sanguine is, good word, a sanguine disposition or temperament. Literally it means full of blood, but full of blood and therefore red, Red, therefore healthy. Healthy, therefore cheerful. Sanguine, primary meaning now, cheerful. A sanguine disposition, cheerful, positive, optimistic. We can also say, I am sanguine about his chances of success, meaning cheerful, hopeful. Sanitarian, interesting. Sanitary means clean, sanitary conditions or unsanitary conditions. A sanitarian is a person who, A, cleans, makes things clean, B, likes things clean. Sanitary already. Sarcastic, that was a clever remark you made when it was really a stupid remark you made. I'm being sarcastic. A potentially effective kind of humor. People tell us, teachers, that we shouldn't be sarcastic with the children. I disagree completely. Be sarcastic with the little darlings. They're more sarcastic than you are. They understand that language real well. I think it's a good method of teaching. Humor. Sash is just a string or a piece of cloth that usually goes around a waistline, but a curtain can have a sash too. That is, it holds the curtain up, and then you remove the sash and the curtain falls down and closes. Satire. Noun. A satire is a work of literature, should be, that makes fun of something or someone. But I mentioned yesterday that satire and parody and lampoon, the lines separating these things are very close. Technical. To saturate is to fill, that again, but it's fill every part of. The ground was saturated after it rained, after the flood even. Savage. Noun, opposite of a civilized person. Often used, though, to mean fierce. He was attacked savagely. Really, ferociously would be better, meaning fiercely. A savage, again, is a person who is not civilized. Scapegoat is the goat that is killed, usually, sacrificed to the gods to propitiate, see earlier page, the gods, someone who is punished for the sake of others. He was made a scapegoat when others were equally guilty. Not good. Scarce, not much. There's not much of it. Like poultry, yesterday. Food is scarce. There's not much of it. Scarlet is a deep red. People use the word. He blushed. His blush was scarlet. And he blushed scarlet red. He became deep red, that he was very embarrassed. Scavenge is a scavenger is a person, is a creature, vulture say, coyote, some dogs, some cats, leopards are scavengers even, who look for creatures that are already dead to eat. That is, they don't take the trouble of killing them themselves. A scavenger. To scavenge is to look for food, presumably, though, meat. Scorch is to burn deeply. It's really only used in scorched earth. That is, the army invaded the territory and scorched the earth, burned everything, destroyed everything. Scowl is to look with displeasure and anger. He scowled at me when I suggested that he was wrong. Scrupulous. If I look at something or study something scrupulously, I look at it very closely and carefully. If I follow the law scrupulously, I follow that law very carefully. Scurrilous, using bad language. A scurrilous attack on someone, using bad language, meaning cruel, a violent attack. Scurrilous humor is possible, though, meaning a generous use of bad language. Sedate, as a verb, the doctor sedated him. That is, they gave him drugs that made him sleepy and tired. Sedate can be an adjective, meaning liking to sit a lot, not active. Sediment is what settles down at the bottom of something, of some liquid. Water sometimes has a sediment. Wine has a sediment. Senility is the state of being very old, presumably, like Alzheimer's, in a state of senility, meaning no longer able to think and perform actions for oneself. So old, helplessly old. Sentiment is feeling. Sentimental, you know well. But sentiment, the popular sentiment is that X is doing a good or a bad job. Feeling. Sentinel is a guard who stands watch. The sentinels of civilization, the critics, are on the lookout, as we say, for good or bad things, so that they will presumably warn us and save us. Sequence is the events that take place in sequence, that is, one after another. The root there is follow, sequor, Latin, everything Latin. Serene means calm. The Buddha has this serene look, serene smile, calm, unruffled, unshaken. Shabby, not elegant. Not savage, but shabby behavior is not kind, not good, not generous. A shabby dwelling, not clean, not nice. Sheath is the cloth, usually, or leather that one puts the knife into, the dagger into, to keep it there, or the sword. A show-off is a person who is ostentatious. See yesterday about what she has. She can be a show-off too. Or a person can be a show-off, this is the noun form, about his or her knowledge too. A pedant shows off his or her knowledge. Shrewd, clever, astute. But in Shakespearean language, that was a shrewd blow, meaning he caught me off guard and hit me cleverly and hard. A shrewd person, though, is clever and alert. Shrill, very high-pitched, high sound. Her voice is shrill. Causes us to wince in pain almost. A shroud is a cloth that people put over a dead body. And so, in literary sense, it often refers just to death. We can also say that some question is shrouded or veiled in darkness. Veiled is better because shroud refers to death. Significant means important. Daegu is a significant city in Korea. Important. He made a significant remark, an important remark. Silliness, the opposite of seriousness. Simulate is to copy, to imitate. We practice some things under simulated conditions. That is, we try to imitate the real situation to practice what we will do if that situation arises. A skeptic, notice K, is a person who questions and doubts almost everything.